Keira Knightley, the luminous British actress whose career spans from swashbuckling blockbusters like Pirates of the Caribbean to nuanced period drama such as Pride and Prejudice, has always exuded an air of poised elegance. Yet, in a delightfully unguarded moment on the Waitrose podcast Dish, hosted by Nick Grimshaw and Angela Hartnett, Knightley peeled back the layers of her private life to reveal the quirky, almost childlike habits of her husband, Klaxon's musician James Righton, during the early days of their romance. Married since 2013 and parents to two daughters Edie and Delilah, the couple's story is one of enduring partnership, but Knightley's anecdotes paint a vivid picture of how Righton transformed from a culinary novice with bizarre proclivities to a sophisticated bon vivant under her patient tutelage. It's a tale that humanizes one of Hollywood's most enigmatic stars, reminding us that even fairy tale relationships begin with cheese toast and restaurant aversion. Knightley's revelations began with a light-hearted confession about Righton's premarital eating habits, which she described as stubbornly simplistic and endearingly juvenile. "He just couldn't cook, all he ate was cheese on toast," she recalled with a mix of exasperation and fondness. For anyone who's ever navigated the domestic dance of a new relationship, this detail lands with relatable hilarity. Cheese on toast, that quintessential British comfort food of melted cheddar on buttered bread, perhaps under a grill for a crispy edge, sounds harmless enough, but as a dietary staple, it's the stuff of sitcom tropes. Knightley, no stranger to gourmet indulgences, she's been spotted at Michelin-starred spots from London to Paris, saw it as a red flag. "I was like, this is not going to work," she admitted, her voice laced with mock horror. It's easy to imagine the scene, a candlelit dinner attempt derailed by yet another round of gooey toast, Knightley eyeing her beau with the skepticism of a food critic reviewing a fast food joint. But Righton's eccentricities didn't stop at the stove, they extended into a broader aversion to the culinary world at large. He wouldn't even go out for dinner. He didn't understand going to restaurants. He was bizarre, Knightley continued, her laughter bubbling through the podcast mic. This wasn't mere pickiness, it was a profound disconnect from the social ritual of dining out, a cornerstone of adult life in cosmopolitan circles. Restaurants, for many, are theaters of taste, places where flavors unfold like plot twists, and ambience sets the stage for connection. For Righton, circa early 2010s, they were alien territory as bewildering as a spaceship cockpit. Knightley, whose film roles have whisked her to opulent banquets in Atonement or seaside eateries in Anna Karenina, found this reluctance both baffling and ripe for intervention. Her story transforms what could be a trivial quirk into a charming origin myth for their union, highlighting how love often involves gentle nudges toward growth. Enter Knightley's masterstroke, enlisting her oldest friend, a proper old-school bon vivant, to stage what amounted to a foodie boot camp. "We basically trained him," she shared, framing the effort as a collaborative conspiracy of flavors. Picture this trio, Knightley, her worldly pal, and a wide-eyed Righton, embarking on a series of restaurant reconnaissance missions across London's vibrant scene. From the cozy gastropubs of Notting Hill to the avant-garde tasting menus of Clerkenwell, they coaxed Righton out of his toast-topped shell. "We took him out to restaurants and he wouldn't try anything. He was like a child," Knightley recounted. The imagery is vivid. Righton, the indie rocker with tousled hair and a stage presence that once electrified crowds at Glastonbury, reduced to toddler-like resistance at the sight of seared scallops or herb-infused risottos. "He used to shut his eyes and we'd be like, try it," she mimicked, capturing the playful persistence that turned meals into milestones. The breakthrough moments were pure joy, small victories savored like the dishes themselves. He'd be like, "Okay, it's nice." Knightley imitated, her impression evoking a reluctant convert warming to the cause. These episodes weren't just about expanding a palate, they were acts of trust-building where vulnerability met encouragement. Righton, frontman of the synth-rock band Klaxons, famous for their Mercury Prize-winning debut Myths of the Near Future, brought his artistic intensity to the table, literally. His initial wariness might stem from the sensory overload of his musical world, where soundscapes demand focus, leaving little room for gastronomic experimentation. Yet, under Knightley's guidance, he blossomed, evolving into the super-into-wine partner she describes today. This transformation underscores a broader theme in their marriage: mutual evolution. Knightley, who has spoken candidly about the challenges of balancing motherhood with a demanding career, credits Righton as her rock, a far cry from the toast-munching bachelor she met at a concert in 2010. Knightley's own relationship with food adds another layer to this narrative, one that's as passionate as it is unpretentious. "I have written about wine and I've written about food just because I like eating it," Can't cook it but like eating it, she clarified, owning her strengths with disarming honesty. Indeed, Knightley has penned essays for outlets like The Gentlewoman, waxing poetic on the pleasures of a well-paired Bordeaux or the solace of a home-cooked stew. Her self-deprecating nod to her cooking ineptitude endears her further. Here's an Oscar-nominated actress, Pride and Prejudice earned her a Best Actress nod, who can command a red carpet but fumbles a roux. It's a reminder that domesticity doesn't define worth, enjoyment does. Her love for wine in particular, flows like a well-aged vintage through her stories. I like wine and I like drinking wine, she stated simply before dropping a gem. James is super into wine. Actually, I used to have a place in France and we made our own wine. This French interlude elevates the tale from quirky anecdote to romantic odyssey. Knightley and Righton's vineyard venture, a sun-kissed property in the sun-drenched hills of Provence or perhaps the vine-clad slopes of Bordeaux, evokes idyllic escapism. Envision them amid rows of gnarled vines, hands stained purple from harvest, debating vintages over picnic blankets laden with charcuterie. Making wine isn't casual, it's alchemy, blending soil, sun and sweat into bottled poetry. For Knightley, it's a sensory extension of her on-screen personas, from the spirited Elizabeth Bennet to the fierce Joan Clare in Black Doves, her recent Netflix thriller. These pursuits ground her, offering respite from the intensity of sets where she grapples with espionage or Regency-era wit. Righton's transformation then isn't isolated. It's part of a shared lexicon of indulgence that includes late-night tastings and vineyard sunsets, strengthening the bonds forged over those initial eye-shut trials. Reflecting on their decade-plus together, Knightley's podcast appearance feels like a love letter to adaptation. In relationships, in habits, in life. Righton's journey from cheese toast purist to wine aficionado mirrors the couple's navigation of fame's ebbs and flows, the birth of their children amid Knightley's selective roles.